Hello, I'm Brian Tracy. For decades, I've studied the most successful men and women in every field, and I've discovered a truth so simple, yet so profound, that it forms the very bedrock of high achievement. It's the fact that many people today feel like they are running on a treadmill, working harder and harder but never actually moving forward. They are constantly busy, constantly stressed, and constantly overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks, demands, and distractions in their lives. Does that feeling sound familiar to you? What if I told you that the key to breaking free from the cycle of unproductive business, the secret to trading that chaos for a profound sense of clarity and control, is not about working harder, but about working smarter? What if the path to achieving more, owning more, and enjoying more peace of mind is rooted in a single, powerful discipline? That discipline is organization. And today, we're going to explore why forcing yourself to organize your life is not just a helpful suggestion, but an absolute obligation if you are serious about unlocking your full potential. The fact is, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. When you look at a person's desk, their car, their schedule, you can get a very clear picture of the state of their mind. A life characterized by clutter, disorder, and a constant state of reaction is a life lived without intention. It's a life governed by external forces, where you spend all your energy putting out fires instead of building the magnificent structure of the life you truly desire. This is a critical point. Disorganization is not a sign of a creative mind. It is a symptom of a mind that lacks clarity. It is an energy vampire that silently drains your focus, your confidence, and your power to execute. Think of your life as a ship. Without a clear destination, a map, and a hand firmly on the rudder, the ship will simply be tossed about by the winds and the currents. It may be in motion, but it is not making progress toward any specific port. That is what a disorganized life feels like. You are at the mercy of every incoming email, every unexpected request, every distraction that pulls you off course. But when you make the conscious decision to organize, you are seizing the rudder. You are charting your course. You are deciding, with absolute clarity, where you are going and how you are going to get there. This is the foundation of the law of control, which says that you feel positive about yourself to the degree to which you feel you are in control of your own life. Organization is a primary tool for establishing that control. The first and most critical area to organize is not your desk, your files, or your schedule. It's your mind. All meaningful and lasting organization begins with clarity of thought. You cannot organize your actions if you are confused about your destination. You simply cannot hit a target that you cannot see. This is why the starting point of all high performance is goal setting. It is a process of organizing your thinking and projecting it into the future. It's about deciding, with precision, what you truly want to achieve in every area of your life. Most people drift through life with vague hopes and wishes. They hope things will get better. They wish they had more money or were in better shape. But hope is not a strategy. The top 3% of people in our society, the highest achievers in every field, have one thing in common. They have clear, written goals. This is not a coincidence. It is a matter of cause and effect. The very act of writing down a goal crystallizes it. It moves it from a fleeting desire in the ethereal world of your mind to a concrete objective in the physical world. It makes it real. It makes it something you can work toward. So how do you do this? It's a simple, 7-step process that I have taught to millions of people, and its power is transformative. First, decide exactly what you want in a specific area of your life. Be precise. Don't say, I want to make more money. Instead, say, I will earn a specific amount of money by a specific date. Second, write it down. I cannot stress this enough. A goal that is not in writing is merely a wish. It has no energy behind it. Third, set a deadline for your goal. A deadline acts as a forcing system in your brain, activating your subconscious mind to work on the goal day and night. Fourth, make a list of everything you can think of that you will have to do to achieve your goal. Every single step, no matter how small. As you think of new items, add them to your list. This list becomes your blueprint for success. Fifth, and this is where the organization truly begins, organize your list into a plan. You do this by sequencing the items by priority and by time. What needs to be done first? What is most important? You are creating a track for you to run on. The sixth step is to take action immediately on your plan. Do something, anything, to get started. The momentum you generate from that first step is incredibly powerful. And finally, the seventh step is the resolve to do something every single day that moves you in the direction of your most important goal. Just one small step every single day. This daily discipline builds momentum and makes the achievement of your goal virtually inevitable. This process of organizing your thoughts into clear, written goals is a master skill of success. I remember working with a sales executive several years ago, a man named Tom. Tom was incredibly busy. He was always on the phone, always rushing to meetings, always sending emails. From the outside, he looked like the model of a hard worker, but his results were consistently mediocre. He was frustrated, stressed, and on the verge of burning out. He felt like he was spinning his wheels, and he was right. When we sat down together, I asked him to show me his plan for the week. He looked at me, confused. He didn't have a plan. He was simply reacting to whatever came his way. The first thing we did was organize his mind. We took a step back from the frantic activity and defined his primary goal, to increase his sales by 50% in the next 6 months. We wrote it down. Then, we made a list of all his clients and prospects. This is where the power of organization became tangible. Instead of seeing a chaotic list of names, we organized them using the ABC method. Prospects were the top 20% who could account for 80% of his new business. B. Prospects were the solid, middle-tier clients. C. Prospects were the small, low-probability accounts that consumed a disproportionate amount of his time. Before this, Tom had been spending his time equally among all three groups. He was giving as much energy to a C prospect as he was to a prospect. We restructured his entire approach. His new, organized plan dictated that he would spend the first 3 hours of every day, his prime selling time, contacting and following up with only his prospects. He was forbidden from even looking at his B or C lists until afternoon. The results were staggering. Within 30 days, his sales had jumped by 25%. Within 4 months, he had hit his 6-month goal. He was working fewer hours, but his productivity and his income had skyrocketed. He hadn't worked harder. He had simply organized his thinking and his actions around his most valuable tasks. This leads us to the second pillar of an organized life, the organization of your time. Time is your most precious resource. It is the one thing you cannot save or get back. The way you manage your time is the single greatest determinant of your success and your quality of life. In fact, time management is a misnomer. You cannot manage time. You can only manage yourself and your activities within time. Therefore, time management is really life management. To take control of your time is to take control of your life. The most powerful principle for organizing your time is a Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20th rule. This principle states that 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. This means that in a list of 10 tasks, 2 of those tasks will be worth more than the other 8 tasks combined. The average person, living in a state of disorganization, will procrastinate on those top 20% of tasks. They will dabble. They will work on the small, easy, and often irrelevant tasks, the bottom 80%, because it gives them a feeling of being busy. But remember, activity is not accomplishment. The successful person, the organized person, forces themselves to identify and focus on that vital 20%. They are ruthless in their prioritization. Before you start any task, you must develop the habit of asking yourself a critical question. Is this task in the top 20% of my activities, or in the bottom 80%? This single question, asked over and over again until it becomes automatic, will change your life. It forces you to think before you act. It forces you to organize your day around what is truly important, not just what is urgent. To put this into practice, I developed a simple but remarkably effective method for daily planning called the ABCDE Method. It is a priority setting tool that you use on the list of tasks you have created for the day. You go through your list and place a letter next to each item before you begin work. An item is defined as something you must do. It is a task with serious positive or negative consequences if you do or do not do it. These are your most important tasks, your top 20%. If you have more than one task, you prioritize them by writing A1, A2, A3, and so on. Your A1 is your most important single task. A B item is defined as something you should do. There are minor consequences for not doing it. Someone may be unhappy or inconvenienced, but it is not as critical as a task. The rule is this: you never do a B task when there's a task left undone. You must resist the temptation to clear up small, easy B tasks while your major task is still sitting there. This is a key test of self-discipline. A C item is something that would be nice to do, but for which there are no consequences at all whether you do it or not. This could be calling a friend, getting coffee, or reading the news online. These C tasks have no impact on your professional life or your major goals. The organized person identifies these and does them only when all their A and B tasks are complete. A D item stands for delegate. The rule is that you should delegate everything you possibly can to someone else to free up more of your time for a task that only you can do. The question to ask is, what can someone else do even 70% as well as I can? Delegating is a huge lever for productivity. Finally, an E item stands for eliminate. You should be constantly looking for tasks and activities that you can eliminate altogether. These are often things you have been doing out of habit that are no longer necessary. Perhaps it's a report that no one reads or a meeting that accomplishes nothing. The most productive people are constantly pruning their activity lists, eliminating the non-essential to make more time for the essential. The magic of the ABCDE method lies in its daily application. If you start every day by organizing your task list this way, and then discipline yourself to start immediately on your A1 task and stay with it until it is complete, you will double your productivity in a very short time. Imagine a typical manager starting their day. They have a to-do list that includes preparing a major report for the board due in 2 days, responding to 50 emails, calling back a disgruntled client, scheduling a team lunch, and reading an industry journal. The disorganized manager will start with the emails. It feels productive because they are clearing their inbox. Then they might schedule the lunch, an easy C task. Then they might get bogged down in the bottomless pit of the industry journal. By noon, they've been very busy, but they haven't even started the most important task, the board report. They have been working on B and C tasks. The organized manager, using the ABCD method, would analyze the list differently. The board report is clearly the A1 task. It has the biggest consequences. Calling the disgruntled client is the A2. It's also critical and time-sensitive. The emails are a B task. They should be done, but not at the expense of tasks. Scheduling the lunch is a C task, nice to do, or even a D, delegate to an assistant. Reading the journal is also a C task. This manager would start their day with a board report, blocking out focus time to make significant progress. Only after that would they move to the A2, the client call. This simple shift in approach is the difference between an average performer and a star performer. This disciplined approach to organizing your time naturally leads to another powerful technique, time blocking. This is where you schedule fixed blocks of time in your calendar for your high-value tasks. Instead of a to-do list, you have a schedule. You might block out 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for work on Project X. During that time, you do nothing else. You turn off your phone, close your email, and give the task your undivided attention. This method is incredibly effective because it defeats multitasking, which is a myth. When you think you are multitasking, you are actually just switch tasking, rapidly shifting your attention back and forth, and with each switch, you lose cognitive energy and time. Organizing your day into focused blocks of single tasking is one of the greatest productivity secrets of all. Now, we come to the third pillar, organizing your physical environment. As I said earlier, your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. It is almost impossible to maintain a clear, calm, and focused mind when you are working in an environment of chaos and clutter. A messy desk, a disorganized office, or a cluttered home creates a low-level, continuous stream of distraction for your subconscious mind. Every out-of-place paper, every piece of unfinished business in your line of sight sends a signal to your brain that says, "I'm not done. I'm incomplete." This drains your mental energy and makes it harder to concentrate on the one task you should be focused on. The act of cleaning and organizing your workspace is a powerful catalyst for mental clarity. When you force yourself to completely clear your desk, handle every piece of paper, file what needs to be filed, and throw away what is no longer needed, something remarkable happens. It's not just your desk that gets clearer. Your mind gets clearer, too. You feel a sense of completion, of control, of being on top of your world. This feeling translates directly into higher levels of confidence and motivation. A powerful technique for this is a clean slate method. Don't just shuffle papers around. Take everything off your desk. Everything. Clean the surface until it is empty. Then, one by one, pick up each item and make a decision. Does this need to be here? Is it essential for the work I am doing right now? Only put back the tools and documents that are absolutely necessary for your current A1 task. Everything else gets filed, delegated, or thrown away. Working on a clean, organized surface allows you to focus 100% of your mental powers on the task at hand. You will be amazed at how much more efficient and creative you become. I worked with a very talented author who was suffering from a severe case of writer's block. He hadn't been able to write a single productive page in months. When I visited him in his home office, the reason was immediately apparent. The room was a disaster. Stacks of books teetered on the floor, old research papers were piled high on his desk, and coffee cups and old mail were scattered everywhere. His physical environment was a perfect mirror of his blocked, cluttered mind. My advice to him was simple, and it had nothing to do with writing. I told him to take the next 2 days and do nothing but organize his office. He was to touch every single piece of paper, every book, every object, and make a decision. Keep, file, or discard. He was skeptical, but he was also desperate, so he agreed. 2 days later, he called me. His voice was completely different. It was energetic and excited. He said the process had been grueling, but as he cleared the physical clutter, he felt a mental fog lifting. On the morning of the 3rd day, he sat down at his newly pristine desk, and the words just flowed. He wrote more in that single morning than he had in the previous 3 months. The act of organizing his external world had unblocked his internal world. This principle of organizing your environment extends beyond your desk. Think about your digital workspace. Is your computer desktop a chaotic mess of random files and icons? It has the same negative effect on your focus as a messy physical desk. Take the time to create a simple, logical folder system and file your documents away. An organized digital life reduces friction and saves you countless minutes every day that would otherwise be spent searching for lost files. What about your email inbox? For many people, their inbox is a source of constant stress, a to-do list created by other people. Organize it. Create folders for action, waiting, and archive. Process your emails in batches instead of letting them interrupt you all day. Your car is another environment. Is it clean and organized, or is it a mobile storage unit for clutter? Starting your day in a clean, orderly car can have a subtle but positive impact on your mindset as you head to work. And of course, there is your home. A calm, orderly home is a sanctuary where you can recharge your batteries. You don't have to live in a minimalist showroom, but creating a system where everything has a place and things are generally put back in their place reduces stress and creates a more peaceful atmosphere for you and your family. Each act of organizing your physical world is an investment in your mental clarity and personal effectiveness. Finally, we must understand that organization is not a one-time project. You don't just get organized and then you are done forever. Organization is a habit. It is a discipline that must be practiced daily until it becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. The world naturally tends toward entropy and disorder. If you don't actively and continuously impose order on your life, chaos will inevitably creep back in. This is why developing the habit of organization is so critical. This is where the principle of Kaizen, or continuous, never-ending improvement, comes into play. Don't try to become the most organized person in the world overnight. It's too overwhelming, and you will likely fail and give up. Instead, focus on getting just 1% better each day. Pick one small area. Maybe today, you just organize the top drawer of your desk. Tomorrow, you organize your computer desktop. The next day, you take 15 minutes to plan your following day using the ABCDE method. Each small act of organization builds upon the last. It creates momentum. It strengthens your discipline muscle and builds your self-esteem. I can tell you from my own life that this was the key. When I was young, I was completely disorganized. I was broke, working the boring jobs, and sleeping on the floor of a friend's apartment. I was going nowhere fast. It was only when I began to study successful people that I noticed they were all remarkably well organized. They had systems. They had routines. They had discipline. I was intimidated, but I decided to try. I started with one single habit. At the end of each day, I would take a simple spiral notebook and write down a list of what I needed to do the next day. That's it. That one small act of organization had a profound effect. When I woke up in the morning, I wasn't directionless. I had a plan. I knew what I needed to do. This small feeling of control gave me the confidence to tackle a second habit, and then a third. Over time, these small, consistent acts of organization compounded, transforming my productivity, my income, and ultimately, my entire life. It wasn't one giant leap. It was 1,000 small, disciplined steps in the right direction. Forcing yourself to do that first small thing is the hardest part. But once you do, the next step becomes easier. This is why self-discipline is a master key to riches, and it is a foundation of the habit of organization. Forcing yourself to do what you know you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not, is the very definition of a superior person. Every time you choose to organize your thoughts, your time, or your space instead of giving in to the easy path of disorder, you are casting a vote for your own success. You are building your character. You are increasing your self-respect and self-esteem. The feeling of being in control of your life that comes from being well organized is the true reward. To sustain this, make a weekly review a non-negotiable part of your schedule. Take 30 minutes every Sunday evening to look back at the week that passed and to plan the week ahead. What worked? What didn't? Where did you get off track? What are your most important tasks? Your tasks for the coming week. This weekly planning session is your strategic command center. It ensures that you are not just being efficient with your daily tasks, but that your daily tasks are the correct ones, the ones that are moving you closer to your most important long-term goals. It keeps the ship on course. So let's bring this all together. We've seen that organization is not an optional personality trait. It is a mandatory discipline for anyone who wants to achieve extraordinary things. It is a practical application of taking control of your life. It begins in your inner world by organizing your thoughts into clear, written goals and plans. This clarity then allows you to organize your time, focusing your energy on the vital few tasks that produce the greatest results, using powerful tools like the 80-20 rule and the ABCDE method. Finally, this inner order manifests itself in your outer world as you organize your physical and digital environments to eliminate distractions and create a space for deep, focused work. This entire system is held together by the habit of discipline, the willingness to force yourself day in and day out to do the things that lead to high performance. It's about choosing order over chaos, intention over reaction, and progress over business. The peace of mind, the confidence, and the sense of personal power that come from living a well-organized life are immense. You move from being a passenger in your life to being the pilot. If you have found this discussion valuable, if it has sparked an idea or motivated you to take action, then I encourage you to click the like button below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more practical principles on personal and professional achievement. And please, share this video with someone you know who could benefit from trading a little bit of chaos for a lot more clarity. And now I have a question for you, and I'd like you to answer it in the comments below. Based on what we've talked about today, what is the one area of your life you will commit to organizing starting right now? Remember, your life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And that change begins with a simple, powerful, and non-negotiable decision to organize.